quite a sobering conversation we had before we went on that quick break with Mr. Obaseki, Dr. Obaseki, who shared the harrowing details of how he was abused. And I think that's a conversation we'll start breakfast headlines with. We're joined this morning by public affairs analyst Dotun Ojon. Good morning, and thank you for joining us.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Dotun Ojon.
Good morning.
It's great to have you.
Yeah,
on a day that it's not. I mean, yesterday was a Black Monday. Nigeria. Terrible.
Really sad.
Like we had reports of 6 staff of NTA Gombe. They lost their lives in a road accident on their way back from a wedding, and it's just.
And they went to the wedding of their colleague.
Yeah. Terrible.
And then
our hearts go out to the NTA.
Yeah, Anthony Joshua's death. Anthony Joshua's friend's death, you know, based off the accident as well. I don't know if you heard of the young man, the ex-influencer, lazy writer, who put up a suicide note on Instagram. Apparently, he also took his life. And then there was an actor, Allwell, whom Nollywood has been mourning.
Yeah.
She also, I'm not sure of the details, but 24 hours before, if you went on the page, you will see where she posted a video singing how this year will not see her end. Instead, she will see the end of this year. And today she's no more.
Yeah, quite extremely emotional. And between the month of January and I think September 2025, in Nigeria alone, we've lost about 3,400 souls to road crashes here and there.
Wow, that's a huge number.
Recorded by FRSC. And you know that the number can be a bit slightly higher because there are areas where these figures are not actually marked
or those that were in critical condition later succumbed to their wounds.
So a number of them. That's I think in over 22,000 accidents across Nigeria. That's between January and September. But if you look elsewhere, for instance, the number can also be more. If you look elsewhere, for example, if we take stats from United States, for example, between January and June of this same year, they recorded about 17,000 deaths. So it's a sad reality, and this brings conversation around our road transport system everywhere across the globe. It brings conversation around the attitude of driver across the world, and it's totally not different. Only that the way we do it here is a bit tacky. Sometimes I had traveled from my village to a place called Asaba in Delta State. On the way going, so somebody called me and said, "Oh, how do you see the road?" I said, "Okay, it's manageable." A week after, the person said, because I said the road was manageable, he decided to embark on the trip, only for him to spend 12 hours between Ore and Benin City. What happened? Before that 1 week, he discovered that trailers have packed all over Okada community, and there was no place for anybody to either go or come back.
So the roads were narrow.
The roads were narrow. In fact, it was a total blockage. So when you see things like this, it brings to question our strategic road management. And in Nigeria, you cannot manage some of this road because majority of this road fall under the federal road, and the state government will just look away from it. In fact, at a point, they will go and do signposts and put it there that this road belongs to federal government. Yes, it's not even, this is not even a result of whether the road is bad. The road is not bad. It's just the fact that the attitude of some of our road users, they can just decide to create
if that trailer wasn't there, they would have lost their lives. It
will have been a different story entirely. So it's a sad moment for everybody in Nigeria today, and I just wish that everyone that is close to the dead will be able to have the fortitude to bear this loss.
Yes, amen. Yeah. I mean, that is the big story on the front page. We can see the pictures. Every paper we look at this morning, from this Nigerian newspaper, you see the picture there, to the Nigerian Tribune, you see the picture of the crash there. Maybe just the Punch doesn't have the picture, but you can see Anthony Joshua at the top right corner. It's a sad story. But let's start with this Nigeria. Makinde lied. I never offered PDP to Tinubu, says Wike. Fubara, not APC leader in Rivers State, doesn't respect agreement. Subsidy removal makes more money available to states. Troops kill 80 terrorists and rescue 34 victims in multi-state operations. NLC backs mandatory drug test for job applicants. Ogun, Lagos confirm Joshua crash, 2 dead on expressway. Tinubu sympathizes with ex-heavyweight champion. Nigeria's tax ombudsman begins operations January 1st officially. That is in 2 days. But let's have a bit of politics. Makinde lied. I never offered PDP to Tinubu, says Wike. This is going off the back of what the governor of Oyo State had said, about in his, I believe in his media chat.
Yes, in his Wike-like media chat. Because it's one of the novelties of this administration.
I'm actually starting to enjoy it.
We never saw it in the past, and you wonder in what capacity.
The person who's supposed to give us media chat is not giving us media chat.
He's the only minister that does this sort of media parleys. But Shey Makinde has taken a cue to also...
Shey Makinde is a governor.
Yes, he's a governor.
So he's taking charge. Maybe we'll see more governors. But anyway, what's your reaction?
So where do we start from?
Let's start with...
And is it a distraction from the real issues we should be talking about? Proper governance. And, people have criticized it and said, look at what they've reduced journalists to. Because they say it's high-level gossip.
Conversation, communication, and deliberations are all essential part of democracy. So at every point in time, people will need to speak. People will need to talk. Now, the point will now be, what are we talking about? What is the impact of our talk on the lives of our people? And I think that's very clear. For example, if you had a media chat and I'm a governor of Ondo State. If I were a governor of Ondo State and I'm having a media chat, for example, and everything I'm talking about is about Osun State, then something is wrong with me. Because I should be focused on what will benefit my people and how the politics I'm talking about will be beneficial to my people. But having said that, there are a few things here. When the media chat was going on with Governor of Oyo State, yes, he never mentioned the part that the federal government supported him. So he put a question mark on, that's during the blast in Ibadan. He put a question mark on a lot of things that he said. On the other hand, Wike is a man known for this particular phrase, agreement na agreement. I believe that when they were having this conversation with the now president, there were a few agreements that were entered into. One of them, I believe, is that the governor will be able to give the name of the person that's going to be minister from Oyo State. If they did not respect this agreement, then they've broken agreement. So if you are saying that you never offer PDP to the president, every of your action has actually suggested that you have actually given PDP to the president. Though you say you never said so, but your action is supporting that fact. And I'm not just going to blame Wike for anything. I was on this program the other day, and I said that if Wike had jumped out of PDP, the way every other leader in PDP had jumped out, PDP would have died before now. So he was able to stay in PDP, build PDP, hardly. See, this is a conversation a lot of them
But they say the end justifies the means. Where is the PDP today? And how much damage has he done to the PDP as a party?
Of course, it's like a man who rescues an animal from maybe cold, and at the end of the day you slaughter the animal for Christmas. So we are waiting for who will blame you for slaughtering the animal, because in the first place you have rescued the animal. And I think that's the clear scenario of what has happened.
Absolutely.
So I'm not blaming him for anything. The destiny of PDP has been decided before now. Because when you put an entire party into the hand of one person to support, to sponsor, you have decided the destiny of the party. So before now, the destiny of PDP has been decided by people who are jumping, including the former vice president of Nigeria, Atiku Abubakar. They were part of those people who decided the destiny, including the former Senate President, Bukola Saraki, who is known to be a bit more neutral and matured now, but they all came together unknowingly. When you leave a political party, you are deciding the destiny of the party. So they've decided the destiny of the party now. They've put it into the hand of a man who is willing to slaughter the party. Because now he has made it very clear that he is going to support the sitting president.
He rescued the party from the cold so he can do and undo.
Of course, that's exactly what has happened. You remember that he even came on air to say that when, let me use this word, he said, when the dancing governor took nomination form, according to him, he said he called him. That can't you see the danger you are walking into? So Wike himself knows that PDP is a danger. He said it. So this is how far PDP has come. It's not going to die now because they don't really want it to die, but they don't want it to leave.
But he says if he leaves, the party will die.
No, so now here's, he will not leave. The prayer of the other camp is for him to leave. Because once he leaves the party now, there's a bit of peace that will return to the party, and from there, see, in politics, 6 months,
he's been
is a lot of time.
He's been expelled, and the flag he displayed yesterday during this media chat was this flag of his foundation and the Nigerian flag. So maybe his body language is not, maybe his heart is not there anymore.
No.
And besides, he was also sent a certificate of expulsion that was couriered to him.
He also sent his own back to them. You know what they call back to sender. He also said, but here is it. And I think politically, Wike is in a dangerous situation, politically. But he's such a powerful man. You know why Wike is very powerful in the PDP? Majority of those people who even come on air in the party to criticize him today have benefited one or two things from him. So he's been able to build his influence across Nigeria. So he's a powerful, but at this point in time, he's in a dangerous state. If Fubara had not left to APC, it would have been better. But now Fubara had gone to APC.
Checkmate.
It's a bit complicated.
Do you think it's his cabinet position as a minister of the Federal Republic that gives him that power?
It's not the most powerful minister. The office of the FCT minister, it's not the most powerful ministerial,
I mean,
like the federal government of Nigeria.
Past ministers,
no,
yes.
the federal government of Nigeria can move on without the FCT.
It can be changed.
Yes, but the truth is that the federal minister of the federal government of Nigeria cannot move on without the minister of finance. So it is about the person occupying the office. It's about the character and the competence of the person occupying the office. And you cannot take away the competence of what he has done. You can't take away that from him. Yeah. What people have issues with is the fact that, there's a thin line for some of us who study communication. There's a thin line between demarketing and marketing. Both demarketing and marketing comes with communication. Sometimes you are communicating and you think you are marketing, and you can be demarketing a brand. And that's exactly, subtly now, a lot of governors in APC are supporting Fubara because they didn't like the character of a Wike. That's the truth. So it's in a dicey situation, but that does not take away the fact that, sir, as individuals, if we maintain friendship, for example, we can argue, we can disagree, but there must be that common ground that we will always consider, that will not make us cross the red line. I don't like what is happening in Rivers today. I don't like the fact that Fubara is fighting Wike. I don't like the fact that there's a misunderstanding between them. Because in my head, I thought when they had that round table and when they reinstated Fubara, that will be the end of all of this political crisis. I don't like it.
Permit me to go to the Nigerian Tribune because of time. I want to cover a lot. Still talking the PDP. If you look at the Nigerian Tribune, somewhere in the middle, it says PDP missing as INEC publishes names of governorship candidates.
I saw it in Ekiti.
In Ekiti. So PDP is not there. What's going on? The issue is starting to affect the PDP. I never promised to hold PDP for Tinubu weekend. We've covered that extensively. But I'd like us to go to another one. Allegations against ex-NMDPRA boss Dangote seeks January date to appear before ICPC. Dangote, we see, is the one pushing for this court injunction, this court case to actually be done ASAP. The ICPC, I mean, normally you've followed stories like this as well. Should it have taken this long before the ICPC will actually come back?
And should he still be investigated, knowing that the man has resigned his appointment?
No, that's what Nigeria called for, but they are on holiday. Everybody's on holiday now. When we resume by January, we pick that. But again, it tells of the fact that you need a bit of capacity to be able to push some things through in Nigeria.
Political will.
If this had happened to an ordinary person, the man would just have resigned, and that would have been the end of it. And I've said it repeatedly.
Like the minister of the immediate past minister of Science and Technology that forged a certificate from UNN.
And nothing seemed to have happened.
Nothing has happened.
No, it's terrible.
Okay, it's bow and go out.
Bow and go out.
Okay. It's terrible.
Go
So you need some kind of power to be able to push some of these things through. In Nigeria, we are seemingly cursed with a weekly news. The news of this week will swallow the event of last week, and nobody will just move on like that. And that's why we have extended this attitude to every part of our life. That's why we don't get to ask questions. And since Buhari won 2019 election, I almost gave up, because the performance of Buhari between 2015 and 2019 should not have earned him a 2019 victory. But it tells you that once an event comes, once there's rise on the day of election, our brain goes on recess. We don't even remember what happens again.
Forgot to add
2-5. We just move on like that.
Okay,
On
there's
YouTube.
more
And
to
a
go with it.
sausage,
snack. Yeah. Fresh.
Very fresh one. All right,
Fresh
on YouTube, Mokme Chukwemeka says, Wike has done more damage than good to the PDP. Wike just wants to stay relevant. The lack of focus is why policies are announced today and abandoned tomorrow, even withdrawing to review, according to Olumide Alade, which leads me to our next story. New tax laws will help, not hurt airlines, Tax Reform Committee says on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune. And if you go back to this Nigeria, it says, Nigeria's tax ombudsman begins operations January 1st. So even with all the back and forth.
Let's begin with the airlines, because I listened to the chairman of Airpeace. I listened to the chairman of Airpeace, and I love the analysis. But of course, I haven't experienced what he was talking about. What I experienced is totally different, because I just took my calculator and I tabulated it, and I look at the airfares that I've paid in some of the areas in international flight. Let's even look at within Europe.
Yes.
Amsterdam to any part of Amsterdam to France, Amsterdam to Rome, Rome to any part of. Just look at. Make the calculations.
It was false information that we pay some of the highest rates for
I'm trying to just put the logic together, because I actually sat down, and you know what he did? He just went. You know, there are some airlines that are naturally expensive. They are like the A-list airline. You can't just pick that one and be comparing it with what we have.
We travel with those smaller ones that you don't have to carry plenty luggage.
You travel to them and you are okay. In fact, it's so annoying. Propeller, all of these propeller aeroplanes that make a whole lot of all of this chinkiny kind of this thing. You even enter them in Nigeria, they make you pay that much. I was saying it the other day. I was traveling from here to Akure, 300,000. 300,000 was what the plane is like this, so from here to here.
You can't even stand up properly.
That's what you call the colloquy of the aviation industry.
So it's unfair to have this kind of one-sided conversation. And I hope that this tax issue, because they've been complaining about paying tax, they must restructure it. Now they are kidnapping people on the road. And now people cannot fly. Do you want them to die at one spot?
You know what's even worse? They're kidnapping people when their mothers and their wives and their sisters go out to protest in Kwara.
They're flogging them.
It's not fair enough.
But let's look at the Nigerian Tribune, which we would segue to a conversation. We do have a guest who's joining us live. Nigerian Tribune on the front page says, troops kill 80 terrorists, rescue 34 victims in multi-state operations. We've started to see action from the security chiefs as well. Yeah. And many are saying that this is as a result of Donald Trump's statement, which kind of like sparked a fire. And talking about sparking a fire, just a few days ago, we do hear of the U.S. airstrikes in Sokoto, where many said it was a residential area, some said it was a terrorist hideout, and confirmation has indeed come. But for us here on News Central, we do have an eyewitness who happened to be within that area when all of this did happen. Joining us now very quickly as we would go back to the papers with our in-studio guest. But